Hello. I think. Hello. What do we really want when we start a new project? Okay, what are we really looking for? I think what? Yes. Each of one of us, I think, will have a different answer to this question. Maybe some of us want to be real proud of ourselves at the end of the project. Maybe some of us want to do a technical breakthrough, something different, and so on. And then we start the project and we face this this VUCA world, this volatile, this uncertain, complex, ambiguous world. And so are our projects, the organizations for which we work for, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, even our personal relationships. So we bring you a story from a VUCA project made in a VUCA world. Okay. When we did the project Retrospective, it was clear for us that although we were sailing these stormy waves, we had faced a lot of difficulties. We had to take hard decisions, made a lot of trade-offs. We had been as a team together with a deep connection among us, with a sense of purpose, and we had been happy. So this is a story from a VUCA project, and what we found to be the key factors for being happy sailing these big waves, these stormy waters. So Paula, can you tell us a little bit about our project?
Of course, I'm very happy to do it. Our project was building a software to credit risk management, corporate credit risk management at BPI. We had 3,000 users from branches, risk department, and marketing department. We started our partnership in June 2011. It was a web-based application running inside a Windows Form shell and integrated with another 11 systems. So we had a lot of complexity with so many users, so many departments, and so many interactions. It was really a risk. Our team was composed of 6 people from Create IT, 8 people from BPI, the core team, and then we have to interact with 10 other people from other teams around the system department. We had the Scrum Framework to
guide us.
Yes.
So our talk is our story. So Paula will tell us a little bit what they were doing at BPI Bank before we met, then how we started to work together, how we built a team that had never worked before together, how we walked the road until the go live of the project. Okay. So Paula, what were you doing at BPI before we met?
When BPI decided to build this new software application, our first concern was defining a scope, defining what the system should be and should address. So we invited a lot of users and clients to define with us the concepts of the system and to identify the maximum possible features the system should address. And also, we made a PowerPoint presentation of the front end of the system so we can access the product with top management what was really important. During this journey with customers and users, we build a strong connection. I think it's very important to have a strong connection with our users and our clients. And then we have, in the end of these meetings, we had a huge backlog, and we gave the request for proposal to these six different contractors. Create IT, and we asked them a budget and an estimation for that project. Create IT gave us an interval, a pessimistic scenario and an optimistic scenario, and the next concern for us is how to give such a huge scope to someone we barely know, a contractor we don't know. So the solution is reducing scope, and we reduce the scope asking a proof of concept. Only a product preview to be built during 2 sprints, okay? And so, it was our approach reducing scope.
Yeah, and we did several workshops with the users, so to find the scope that we wanted to put on this proof of concept, this product preview. And I remember at the end of one of these workshops, well, actually the last one before we started the product preview, I had just finished a presentation about Scrum, how we would implement the product preview and the project, and how we would present to the users after each sprint a demo of the product. And José Alberto, one of the users that were with us, told me, that's impossible. We just can't do it. This is so complex. This application is so complex. How are we gonna just speak a little bit of it and do it in 2 months? That's absolutely impossible. We can't do it. And what we did was, the next day, we did the first sprint planning meeting. And then the day after, we did the first stand-up meeting, and so on and so on. And after 2 weeks, we did the first demo. And then we did the first retrospective. And then we did it again and again and again for 55 sprints. And they really joined in the process. So even they haven't worked before in Scrum, the users that were working with us, and they really joined us in this road. And I think we missed one retrospective in 55 sprints. I think this is one of the key factors that we found to be really useful, because sometimes we probably missed one daily stand-up meeting, but we missed one retrospective. I think it was during summer. People were leaving for holidays, others were coming, but we never missed a retrospective. And so we had the time to really be honest and talk about what went wrong, what we are doing well. And so this really took us along the road. So now we haven't worked together, we, BPI and our users. So how did we build this team? I think we were able to build a culture of trust and complicity among us. And there was a cultural proximity between us and BPI and Banco BPI. We met in an agile event, so they were willing to do this work with us. We had a great mix of behavioral strengths, so there was really different people on the team, people with great attention to detail, people with great creativity. So there was this good behavioral mix. People at Create IT, when they join Create IT and as part of the onboarding process, they are trained in this process. It's nonviolent communication. It's a process designed by Marshall Rosenberg. It's a communication process It was designed to work in in conflict situations, like in prisons, high-risk schools, war situations. So it's really useful for project software teams, and I think it was also a key success factor. Then we did a lot of stuff, and we tried to build a culture very distinct from the culture of fear and judgment that we sometimes find in this kind of projects. So we had this practice, it was the week's guilty, so every week there was someone who was guilty, so whenever we found a problem, we only had to look for a solution. And we had also the privilege of having a very low turnover during this project, so almost everybody stayed on the boat for all the projects. So we had the Scrum Framework, we had a great team, and we have a huge backlog that we had to address.
So, how to split our huge epics that we have in the beginning? We sit with the users, doing brainstorm, and discuss these epics until we have enough information to write stories. Stories are very important for us. We send user stories in advance to our users so they have time to read the user stories, and then we meet with them to discuss in presence and discuss it with each other, those user stories. Every 3 months, me and Hugo, we did the backlog roaming, and we share a lot our backlog. We split stories, sometimes we cancel, sometimes we build new ones, and with the priorities defined by our users, and some quick wins we found that we could do.
Yeah. I think another key factor was accepting that Murphy was in the team with us. So things would go wrong. So we tried to automate as much as possible what we do. We had like more than 80% of automated tests that covered the application code. So it was possible for us to change something really important in the core of the application, and then run like 2,000 automated unit tests and see if we have made something in the code. So we also did some formal risk assessment. So me and Paula and the rest of the team will join at the end of the sprint, look at our risk matrix, and in our team, it was really possible to say, I'm afraid of something. So it was okay to talk about risk or to talk about something that could go wrong. We had these what will go wrong meetings. We will join everybody in the room and then start to speak about what could go wrong. And we felt such a relief after this meeting, so we planned for things going wrong. And sometimes we had an answer when things really went wrong. So one of these meetings was about going live, our first go live, or the first release, the D-Day. Yeah. But we did several things preparing for D-Day.
In fact, we did a lot of preparation. Testing is a big issue when we have to deliver something. We had 2 rounds of testing. We asked our users in a first round to test user stories. We had a backlog of testing on the wall, and we had a test and a user story to do with a testing card. So each user pick one story, the story card, and test it, and post it in the OK side of the wall or the with error side of the wall. In the end of the day, all people could evaluate the huge progress we have made during the day, and we were very happy with the results. In the second round of tests, we asked the users to sit with us and bring cases from real life and do some free testing without boundaries. So we sit, we exchange the ideas, and in the end, we were sure that our product fits reality. Okay, it was a very good experience. We did also some usability testing, and the process of training, it was also very important. I will really finish this. And we decided to migrate clients one by one. There was no such thing as a big bang, because bank still needs to sell and still needs to work, and a big bang migration, it will be impossible.
Yeah, okay. So, final thoughts. That's the team having dinner at Paula's house in Sesimbra near the beach and having fun. I think as our key success factors, we would summarize them by being able to connect with everybody, users, sponsors, everybody inside the team for risk management, and then really sticking to the Scrum framework and never missing a retrospective. Thank you very much.